T Plus, driven by Steve David from the Miami area. Miss Budweiser, driven by Seattle's Chip Hanauer. Miss Circus Circus, Dave Bilbach. Ron Jones Jr., the owner, and American Spirit with Mark Evans. The owner is Fred Leland. Now, U100 will see action, and here they come, Dick.
In lane number 1, the Miss T Plus is leading the pack up there. Now, the American Spirit on the outside is actually the pace boat, so all the drivers have to keep an eye on them and make sure that they're in a line coming up for the green flag. It looks like they're going to get it now. Here come the hard charges in the middle. Miss Budweiser trying to take it on the green flag. Right on the outside, the Miss Circus Circus, Dave Bilwak, heading hard and heavy down into turn number 1 now. It's going to be a battle between the Miss T Plus on the inside. Right on the right hip of the T Plus is the Budweiser, and it looked like T Plus rode the rooster tail up. She's down in the water. She is sitting right side up. We'll check to see if there's any damage to the boat. The driver apparently is okay. Meanwhile, the Miss Budweiser has taken the lead.
I can see some damage on the right vertical fin. He peeled back because of the force of the water, but the driver is okay.
I think the big question mark, Jim, is going to be whether or not there's any stress damage underneath the hull. They'll have to get it in on the trailer for that, but so far things look fairly decent for Steve and David. They look great for Chip Hanauer and the Miss Budweiser, who's really trying to start out the season winning everything in sight if he can. Second place is the Miss Circus Circus.
142.9 for Miss Budweiser on the first lap, Dick. As we look at the second place boat, the Miss Circus Circus. Third is the Dallas Motor Coach with Mark Evans driving. As we look at our leader once again, the Miss Polydyne with Mitch Evans having fuel problems, did not start. And the Miss T Plus on the infield now watching the boats go by.
You see the Circus Circus on your screen. Now, this boat has had a lot of work during the off-season. It's new. It's got different wing configurations than the other hydroplanes out there. They can adjust a lot of the wings. They can adjust some of them from inside. We'll talk later with Dave Bilwak a little bit more about that boat, but it is really in a test run out here now, and it's being tested against one of the best boats on the circuit, one of the most consistent boats, the Miss Budweiser, Chip Hanauer, out of Seattle, Washington, and he certainly has a beautiful, beautiful ride in the boat right now.
As we look at the Circus Circus, he's wetting more bottom surface than usual. In other words, a little nose heavy. They may have that boat glued down in the water, Dick.
This is one of the things that they'll try to correct during the day of racing, so that'll be one of the boats to watch out there. I think that the Miss Budweiser looks like she is just about perfection. Very, very good qualifying speeds. Very good in the shootout that we saw earlier. And this boat, I have to tell you, give Circus Circus crews a lot of credit. To have that boat running like they are in the very first race of the season, as radically new as the design is, I think is quite a credit.
No sooner did we said that he was glued to the water, you see he starts to loosen up. So he is playing with the tabs in the front now to get the front end loose. As we look at our third place boat, the Dallas Motor Coach American Spirit.
This is a boat that had a big win last year and certainly one that they will treasure and go for to repeat again this year. Here is the winner. The checkered flag is out. Miss Budweiser, Chip Hanauer, and we'll come back to talk to Chip Hanauer and find out about the conditions in just a moment. Welcome back to Louisville Lake outside of Dallas, Texas. Dick Griffin along with Jim Hendrick and Steve Montgomery. As we look at the results from Heat 1A, it's the Miss Budweiser in first, Circus Circus, and then American Spirit. Miss T Plus did not finish. Polydyne engine specialty, carburation problems did not start. Jim?
Always good to get that first win under your belt.
Well, it is, and we have to use these heats to learn. We want to progress the Budweiser so that when we get to the final, it's the best possible boat that it can be, and we have to use these as learning experiences.
Down in pit row in the T Plus area, the crew is pulling out some spare parts as Steve David and his boat are being towed back to the pit area. Let's go down for the story with Dick Griffin.
Jeff, what are they doing?
Well, the preliminary reports is that we got some right bearing damage on the boat. We had a spare, took it off our backup boat, and hopefully that's all the damage that we got.
Yeah, you really won't know till the boat gets in.
Right. We're waiting now. They said they'd expedite it, and we'll see when it gets here.
A fairing is simply a wing on the back that goes up and down, and it holds the horizontal stabilizer wing that you see on the back of these boats. That'll join in right at these three spots. This is the new one that is off of the other boat, and they're going to get ready to put on the T Plus when it comes in. Reportedly, that is the only damage that's done to the boat. They're hopeful there may be some cracks underneath that they can't see. We'll just have to wait until the boat gets in.
As we've said many times, many races are won by the crew for their work, and I'm sure the T Plus crew will be prepared to re-enter the race. Now there have been some changes. In 1993, here's Steve Montgomery.
Changes in the Unlimited fleet for 1993 are many and very dramatic, with one of the biggest being right here, the return of Pink and White. Circus Circus won the national championship in 1990, then retired from the sport. Dave Vilwalk was the crew chief on that effort. Last year, Ron Jones Marine of Seattle debuted this radically designed new two-wing boat with Dave Vilwalk as the driver, and as the Coors Dry, they won the race in San Diego. Now, once again, they fly the colors of Circus Circus Enterprises of Las Vegas. A trick new paint job is the most obvious change here in the T-Plus camp, but changes over the winter by Jim Harvey and crew in Seattle in the aerodynamics and hydrodynamics have improved Steve David's ride in the boat they campaigned last year. Parked next door here in the Dallas pit is a radically designed new two-wing boat, which the T-Plus team will debut later this season. Tiger stripes have replaced the traditional Miss Madison color scheme on Mike Hansen's ride. In the engine room, it'll be larger, more powerful C-Series turbines, and officially the boat is now the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Mark Evans makes major changes over the winter in the American Spirit Racing team, moving himself and his Captain America paint job to the boat which last year ran as the Miss Rock. So Mark has a new owner, Fred Leland, and a new number, U100. In 1992, Dr. Ken Muscatel of Seattle drove the Hawaii-based Ms. Pog. Over the winter, he and Bob Thomas of Detroit put together a brand new racing team using this hull, the U-55, one of the original and oldest of the turbine-powered hydroplanes. For Ronnie Brown and the Budweiser team, as always, both boats very nearly completely rebuilt over the winter. The biggest visible change, a new, innovative, shorter tailpipe. It comes and goes with the engine, making changes quicker, reduces the weight on the back of the boat, and most importantly, perhaps, the team feels it has improved the aerodynamics of Miss Budweiser, particularly in the turns.
As we prepare for Heat 1B, we want to thank Colonel John Mills and his Army Corps troop for their fine hospitality here on Louisville Lake.
Jim, looking at the lineup in lane number 1, it'll be the Winston Eagle, the U-10, with Mark Tate driving. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, the U-6, will be in lane number 2. That's Mike Hansen. George Woods aboard the Tide boat. U-8 will be in lane 3. And U-55 will be in lane 4. That's Superior Racing, Ken Muscatel. Looking at the start, we see only 3 of the 4 boats out there, Jim.
The report for the pits is that Superior Racing, the starter is malfunctioning. They will not be in this heat.
All right, a sad break for that racing team. We'll see if they can get it going later. There's the green flag, and we're off with Winston Eagle taking the lead on the inside. Watch out for the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes coming up and riding hip to hip with them. And the Tide boat is not backing off at all on the far outside. Down into turn 1, though, it will be the Winston Eagle taking the lead.
He's got the inside track now as he hangs it on a skid fin. That keeps him really tight in lane number 1. But watch your second place boat. He's hidden in that rooster tail, Dick.
It's hard to see him, but indeed, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes is right behind him, just about a boat length and a half off. You can see him now. He's hidden in that veil, the rooster tail. Mike Hansen getting a great ride out of that. Whoa, a little bit of looseness for the Winston Eagle coming down into 3 and 4. He'll have to be careful. On the outside, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes boat is hanging right with him. I think Mike Hansen's finding that new paint job is making him faster.
You'll never lose track of that boat with that paint job this year. 1:43.258. Lap number 1, the fastest competitive lap of the day, so far, goes to the Winston Eagle as we're in lap 2 of 3 lappers.
Winston Eagle still in command. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes in second place. In the Tide boat, George Woods, we haven't talked about it, but that boat is in a very close 3rd place. He is not letting up. He's not being satisfied with position.
This Texas Thunderfest crew has done a great job racing here for the very first time. They're all the sneaky beats. They're going to celebrate. It takes volunteers, and volunteers have made this race, and we're going to be here for some time to come.
Well, you saw the hard-charging Tide boat coming on the outside of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, still sitting back about a boat length or 2. Meanwhile, Winston Eagle got through turn 3 and 4 in lap number 2 a lot easier than he did the first time around. He's got to be careful. Apparently, this wind that consistently is going up and down on the course is making a difference specifically in that turn.
The wind swirls here in this part of Texas. They have to be careful. It could be a tailwind 1 lap and hit you right in the face the next lap.
Meanwhile, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, Mike Hansen continues to keep the pressure on the lead boat. The leader is the Winston Eagle, Mark Tate, out of Detroit, Michigan area. And here he comes into the turn. This was where he got a little bit light last time around, and he does it again. He holds onto the boat. Now, the boat runs fine, but again, they're going to have to check it over for stress. That takes a tremendous hit.
And the winner in Heat 1B at an average of 140.712 is Mark Tate, and he gets 400 points for the Winston Eagle team. Kellogg second, tied third. Let's go to Dick Griffin in the pits.
All right, Mark. Well, it's a little bit cleaner now. They got some of the oil off. What happened out there?
One of the oil lines coming from the gearbox up to the gauge broke loose. It was just spraying oil over me the whole race, and really couldn't see out of my whole right side of my eye. It was just, I'm just totally oil soaked.
The ride itself, a rather rough one.
Yeah, the water conditions are extremely rough out there. Coming into corners 3 and 4, the boat got extremely light the one time and came down real hard and busted the rear winglet off. But Winston Eagle crew will have her back out there. We'll be ready for the rest of the day.